So I'm going to start my talk with a question. Raise your hand if any of you sitting here today have ever asked yourself, what is my purpose? Just a few years ago, I was you, sitting in these very seats, completely lost, questioning the purpose of my existence. Today, I want to share 3 stories that completely changed my mindset, from someone who has no drive, no motivation, to someone who wants to achieve my highest potential. You see, a life with purpose is a life worth living. So, want to know what's the secret of finding your purpose? I'm here to tell you that the truth is, there is no magic moment where we suddenly figure everything out. But the searching, the curiosity, and the willingness to explore is what will lead you to your answer over time. So today, I want to urge all of you guys to start your pursuit of finding your purpose, despite the unknown, and follow your heart. My first story started when I was in high school. You see, when I was in high school, I was someone who was really, really lost. I didn't know my purpose. I didn't know who I wanted to be, or even the purpose of education. So I was okay with getting mediocre grades, and I never cared about going to classes or paying attention to what I was learning. For a while, all I talked about was dropping out. Hey Dad, can I drop out so I can travel the world? Can I drop out to start my own business? I had so many reasons why school just wasn't the right place for me. I thought it was limiting my potential and making me lose passion for life. If I remember correctly, my last year of senior year in high school, I had over 100 absences and tardies, and I genuinely didn't care. When college app rolled around, my dad was worried I wasn't going to get into college because he told me he never saw me study. But I was really blessed to have a wise father who always encouraged me to do the right thing. He told me that college is really about experience. It's going to be the best time of your life, and you do not want to miss out on it. So I listened. But even then, the first 2 years of college, I was still very lost. All I had was party friends. I'll only see my friends 3 to 4 times a week, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, sometimes even Tuesday nights. And all we did together was drinking and partying, and that seemed fine, because that's what everybody around me did. All of us are unconsciously influenced by those around us. What we do, what we hear, what we talk about with our friends has a huge impact on who we want to become and who we are at the moment. So the big question is, what changed? Why did I suddenly go from this person with no motivation to someone who is passionate about education and excited for the future? The first answer is curiosity. You see, when I first experienced my transformation, I started questioning everything. I asked why I am the way I am and started paying attention to the patterns of human behaviors and decisions. I asked what things can be, and even a lot of the things that's beyond human comprehension. But curiosity is, since I started questioning things, I actually experienced drastic transformation. I got really lucky and involved myself with a group of very high achievers at my university. And since then, a lot of things changed. So get involved with the right group of people and let your ego go. All of us, it's really, really easy to become jealous when we see people more successful than us, to become envious of what we don't have. But hey, that feeling won't get you anywhere. When I see people more driven than me, I want to become their friends, because celebrating other people's success is actually a great feeling. When I see people that are more driven than me, I want to see what they're doing that I'm not and implement that into my routine. And that is what friendship is supposed to be about. It takes a village to do anything. So grow together with your friend. And the only competition you should have is your past self. And since then, I also started looking for mentors, and I started cold emailing people. And this didn't just give me my own unique view and values, it also allowed me to see the world from a different perspective. I reached out to professors, to successful founders who lived a life aligned with my value. I would invite them to have coffee chats. I told them my story, who I am, and what I wanted to become. And the most magical thing happened. Suddenly, I was looking at the world on the shoulders of giants. They told me every mistake they could have made, every right decision, everything they learned along the way. And they weren't asking for anything in return, but simply wanted to help me succeed. This experience helped me to find who I am. And some very famous scientists once said, the more you know, the more you learn. The more you learn, the more you can do. The more you can do, the more the opportunity. It's very much like compound interest. I went from someone who only talked about myself to a great listener, and it opened my eyes to how little I truly understood about the world and the meaning of it. This comes to the next point, which is I want all of you guys to identify the 5 most important values in your life. That will act as your North Star, because we all get lost sometimes. But these are the things that will help to give you a direction to follow. Mine are moral fulfillment, knowledge, balance, fun and humor, and the ability to influence people. Because on the journey of searching your own purpose, we all need an internal motivator, a lifelong pursuit. Any purpose that's solely tied to outside achievement or external validation will inevitably fade. Now, the second lesson I really learned that's so important is the importance of letting go. Okay, so my goal used to be, I want to retire by the age of 30 so that I can really do what I wanted to do, which is to travel the world. That is another huge misconception we have. It's always, I wanted to do X, but before that, let me do A, B, and C. If that's your approach, you may never achieve your dream. Because by the time you feel like you have everything you need in life, you're going to run out of time. Sometimes we all need to learn to do things by ourselves that makes us happy. I concluded there are 2 things that makes us not do what we want to do or what our dream is. That is fear of failure and judgment. How often have you guys found yourself in a situation where you wanted to pursue something passionately, only to be deterred by a friend's disapproval or someone else's skepticism? Let's be honest, this is a situation we've all been in. I've been in this personally countless times. Let it go. Let go of external validation and other people's opinion, and do what you want to do. Because at the end of the day, not pursuing your dream will only result in regrets that will haunt you for the rest of your life. Jobs once said, your time is limited, so don't waste it living someone else's life. Don't be trapped by dogma, which is living with the result of other people's thinking. I talk to a lot of people who have successfully sold their company or became billionaires or retired by the age of 30. And I ask them, I'm like, hey guys, you guys made it basically now. So like, how is the early retirement? How has life been afterwards? And guess what? All of them, almost all, just ended up getting another job. Because we can only live a life with no purpose for so long. So then why did I feel like I needed to become successful first in order to do what I really wanted to do? Sometimes, all of us just don't question the preconceived notions enough. And sometimes, the only thing that's stopping you from achieving your dreams is yourself and your belief. So I became lost again. And this time, I became really lost. I didn't know what I was gonna do, but hey, I remembered I have my North Star. So I asked myself, what would give me that moral fulfillment? What would be a decision that if I don't do now, I will regret for the rest of my life? And since then, I've been to 24 countries, and that experience has changed my life. I didn't just see the world, I also got my own worldview and found my peace. And traveling doesn't have to be expensive. I backpacked Europe for 2 months, going to 13 countries with one backpack, eating 3-euro kebabs, sleeping at 20-euro hostels. And some of my best experiences didn't cost a penny. Getting lost in the streets of Italy, talking to strangers who became friends in Barcelona. And some of the most interesting facts I learned on the trip are from genuine conversations with locals. But the most important lesson I learned is that happiness is just a mindset. It's not something that we need to pursue. It's something that can be found in everything we do. All these pictures that you're seeing on the slides are pictures I've taken with my iPhone camera on the trip. And as you can see in this picture, I literally just had a backpack, like 2 outfits and a jacket. But that was the most magnificent trip I've ever had. The world is so big, and my experience of traveling really showed me the endless possibilities that's out there. So my third lesson that I learned is life is what you make of it. Growing up, I changed 7 different schools in the span of 7 years. And TCIS is where I found my home and started the pursuit of my purpose. We need to learn to appreciate everything and anything in life and learn to look at the things from a long term. Some of my most challenging moments became the driver for my biggest accomplishments. If I weren't so lost, I wouldn't have been found. If I wasn't such a horrible student in high school, I may have never be able to stand on stage and say, I'm graduating college in 3 years with a 4.0. If I wasn't such a horrible basketball player when I was in high school, if I didn't freak out every time I touched the basketball, if I wasn't so short and had butterfingers, I may have never honed my skill to that extreme amount, to the point where I can receive MVP and be breaking the school record. But most importantly, if I wasn't such a horrible public speaker in high school, if I didn't have all that embarrassing moment, I wouldn't have fallen in love with public speaking. So I wouldn't have been able to stand here today and share my story with you. So turn your struggles into challenges and overcome them. Every mistake, every risk I took, everything that made me fall and made me fail has been what shaped me into who I am today. So learn to really embrace the uncertainty. In a way, we're all survivors. Think back to a moment where you felt really challenged. You thought you were going to die or you were going to fail. And look at where you are now, still sitting here, intact, in one piece. In a way, we survive 100% of the hardships we go through. Courage is not something that we're born with, but it's developed over time. My dad once told me, heroes are the people who see the evil in the world, yet still choose to shine their light, braving the darkness to do what's right. Now, that comes to my last bonus point to all of you guys, which I think is the most important thing I learned in life, which is to embrace and just be yourself. One of my friends said this perfectly in his blog, which is, since you can't control your life, you should stop trying. All you can do is try your best to control your mindset and action. Some things are meant to last. They come and they go. If you can't control it, don't worry. If you can control it, then do your best and don't worry. Relax. Everything will be fine. Just trust. At the end of the day, as humans, what more can we do if not our best? So feeling lost is just part of the journey. Embrace the uncertainty rather than running away from it. Even now, I still have so much to figure out. But this is what I know for certain. No one else out there has it all mapped out. We're all just winging it to a certain degree. Trying to make the best decision despite all the endless unknowns life throws our way. This messy, adventure-filled life isn't supposed to be a sprint. It's supposed to be a marathon. Once you guys leave these halls, you'll encounter endless opportunities to get it right or get it wrong. And I promise, you'll be grateful for every challenge that helped to reshape you. And you'll be proud you took risks, made mistakes, and embraced the uncertainty. So despite not knowing, go ahead and make mistakes. Do both things. After all, we're all just searching for a purpose. So stay curious, stay humble, and stay hungry to discover what set your soul on fire. And that is my secret to a life that's worth living. Thank you.